Sorry about the quality of the camera. This is kind of strange, but I actually have two cameras that, for some odd reason, broke. I've had them for about 2 years, and it's talking about my experience and the things I've seen in my life regarding demons and ghosts and stuff like that. And as soon as I was talking about it, one of my phones just broke. It doesn't even want to turn on anymore. And so earlier I put that to the side. They can't figure it out at the store. So then I started talking about my other experience in another phone. That one just broke, which I don't understand what's going on. And it's crazy because the only time this has ever happened before was when I took pictures of the Whaley House, which is supposedly the most haunted house in America. And I actually captured some really crazy shit on there. So I was taking pictures, and I didn't see anything with my eyes, but as soon as I looked at my camera, the pictures, there were actually ghostly figures, staring at me from the windows. And it was crazy that when I took it back to where I was staying at, I was going to show my friends, and the camera just broke. And I took it to the shop, and they couldn't figure it out. I had to get another one. Strange how this kind of stuff happens, right? Weird. But I was able to make this work, and of course, I have something here that I keep near me to keep, um, just to keep me spiritually, protected or whatever. I know it sounds a little crazy, but if you've actually dealt with spiritualism, you know what I'm talking about. Um, Hopefully, I mean, maybe it's coincidence. I don't know, but it's just a little strange how two phones can break. Um, Anyways, the reason I'm on right now is because I want to talk about uh, my first experience that I actually ever encountered in my life. And that's actually from the time I was born until I was 4 years old. I used to see, these beautiful beings in the sky. And I'm pretty sure they were angels. They'd look at me from the clouds, like literally, like they'd be behind the clouds. And I wasn't sure what they were saying, but they were speaking to each other. And they would look down and they would wave at me, and I would wave back. But what was crazy is I would think at the time I thought everybody was seeing what I was seeing. I would see these beings, and like I said, they looked majestic and great and wonderful, and there was so much love from them. You could tell I just had this feeling of love come from them, and they felt like they were my friends. Like they were constantly protecting me. And like I said, when you're that age, and I believe like little children can see things sometimes. And I remember, I don't know how, but I remember I would think that everybody was seeing the same thing I was seeing. Like, they would see what I was seeing up in the clouds. It wasn't until, later on in life, I realized what I was seeing was not, well, according to some people, wasn't normal, or wasn't, you know, I guess children have more of a spiritual connection with the other side. So I would see these beings, and I would see them all the time, and there wasn't really much to them. They would just wave at me. They were constantly smiling at me, like I said. But I will tell you about one of the most greatest experience I've ever had was not necessarily at that age seeing God, but seeing His finger come out. And I know it sounds a little strange, but hear me out. So one day, and I don't know how I remember this, but I was 4 years old, and we used to stay at a certain house, which was you could see all the. It was a lot of open space. There were trees, but you can see the sky. And one day I'm looking at the sky. I just get this feeling to look in the sky, and I don't know how, but I remember what I was wearing too. But I guess that's irrelevant. And I'm looking in the sky, and I see this finger come out and was writing something. It was writing something in the sky. I don't. I know I don't remember what he was saying. Like even now, I remember I couldn't read, right? But I remember there was a feeling to it. Like I knew it was God. Like I knew he was. I didn't know that the term was God, but I knew that he was the greatest creation. He was the greatest being in the universe, and that there was a love irradiating from that. Like the finger was out here, but it wasn't the finger per se. It was the energy. Like you could feel there was a love that was unlike anything in this world, and that energy that was there was like I was getting this feeling like he was telling me. you're the greatest love of my life. And I think this is like the great. I think this is what's pertaining to everyone. Like God loves us so much more than we can even comprehend. So the point is I'm seeing this and I'm in awe because it's like he's telling me how much I mean to him. And I could not read, but I know that what he was trying to say on in the sky when he was writing something with his finger was I love you. Like it was literally I love you. You're everything to me. I'm always gonna love you. You mean more than the universe to me. And I mean that was I remember seeing what he looked with his finger. You know, the hand came out and was writing everything, and it was just it was huge. And it's just I knew it was God. Like I just knew it was him. And I know it's a little bit bizarre, but you know that was my first experience that I had ever encountered with. You know, from the time I was born until I was 4 years old. Until that time, I had just seen angels, but that was the first time I ever saw. That was like when it's like God coming out from the clouds and writing something, and that's why I truly, it's something that I have never forgotten, and I truly believe that little kids have that connection, because they're so innocent and but that love that was pouring out from that energy was like it's very hard to explain. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to share that. That was my first experience, and after that, I remember after that being able to be so drawn to you know angels and seeing heavenly beings and seeing you know the finger of God and seeing many wonderful things that were just so beautiful and heavenly. Well, afterwards, of course, with good comes, you know, I guess anytime that good energy is around, there's always going to be bad energy trying to kind of intercept in that. And afterwards, I started seeing, demons, and I started seeing, you know, um, the spiritual, like in the rooms. I started seeing shadows, and I started seeing faces of people up in the sky in the ceiling. I'm not in the sky in the ceiling, um, but that's for another story. So, all right.